Hey, beautiful human. I've taken some time off with my wife to celebrate our anniversary. Got the little one. We've been in the middle of nowhere. I've been reading this book called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Recommended. In this video, what I want to share is one type of content that I have used over the past year that has worked really well for me, specifically on LinkedIn and email, but it's worked multi-platform, which is, there isn't any fancy name for it. I just call it what type of content, because being on LinkedIn, I've grown my audience to like 50,000 people over the last 3 or so years, since 2023, so almost 3 years. Um, I also did this stuff where I shared a lot of the how and broke down everything for people. And I'm not going to say it didn't work, but what it did is it attracted people who wanted to try all my stuff. So I got all of that. Thank you, Jacob. It's amazing. You legend. Changed my life. Can't wait to test this out sort of vibe. And I felt great in the moment. But whenever I launched something, people didn't buy as much as I had wished. There was like a small portion of people who bought my stuff, obviously, as I was growing. And I was like, hold on, the world has changed, marketing has changed. When I started my journey, like Facebook and stuff, you could pull out all of that and give away those free lead magnets and stuff. And then that creates a very different relationship with your leads, right? They want to try, they don't want to buy. And as the world has evolved, I think, like, I don't have any real data to back this up except me sort of looking at my own email list and my own experience, but I would say one buyer equates to now like 100 to 200 leads, in that range, versus before where the number was much smaller. So I wanted to change the relationship between people who wanted to try my stuff and make a relationship with people who wanted to buy my stuff. So people who run ads, for example, will run ads to a very low ticket offer, right? Like $5, $10, $29, whatever the metrics are. So that relationship you build is transactional. You deal with customers, right? So somebody's bought something, then they can live on your email list. For me, as a fan of the game in general, I would turn leads to customers to clients as one thing. But what I wanted to do is, from the get-go, like, I love copywriting as a whole, is get somebody to want to buy my stuff, like in terms of persuasion or the temptation behind it, by rewiring the way that I showed up. And to do that, I try to remove the entirety of how to type content and bring in what type of content. So as I was sat here reading the book, it dawned on me. So I grabbed the camera, and what I did was, I thought to myself, how can I best describe this analogy to help somebody else? And if I can help one person, I would be a very happy boy. So I remembered my grandmother, who made really, really good cheesecake, right? And every year when we'd go with all my cousins and stuff, I'd be like, Gran, can you give me the recipe? She was like, nope. And I'm 32 now. She still hasn't given me the recipe. It's the most amazing cheesecake I've had. And when I ask her, she's always like, if I give you the recipe, you're never going to come round. Which is amazing of her to say. Obviously, she loves us and misses us. And I thought to myself, how many people give away that recipe? So if she said, go grab these eggs, this sugar, this cheese, this whatever, put it in the oven at this many degrees for this long, I've got grandma's recipe. And you can argue that I won't have her final touch, but she's given me all that how. Don't need you. But if she gave me the what, not the how, I would need her right now. So with grandma's cheesecake analogy, I took that to my content and I said, how would I get someone to ask me for the recipe? So if I wrote a post that said, last Sunday, me and my cousins went round to my nan's and we shared some beautiful experiences. We got to catch up. We created these memories that will forever remain unforgettable. And it was all thanks to this cheesecake that was circling around the table. Now you're going to look at that and you're going to go, well, can I have the recipe? Because I want those memories as well, right? So for me, that was a bit of an unlock with my content, because I've seen a lot of people on LinkedIn as well, like give away their DM scripts, give away their lead magnets, give away the entire sort of thing. And I thought, if I shifted my content to write about what, not how, I can then pre-sell somebody by showing them, I know where you need to look, I know what you need to do, but I'm not going to show you the how, so you need me right now. So for example, here, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Like if I was to create a workshop now to say, here's the thing, and I've dropped it down below, you would be like, oh, I also want to write what content, not how content, and you would go there. So what I would do with my content is, for example, let's say I worked with a guy called Tom, and I helped him sort of reposition himself so he can get better intent or better leads. I could break down in my LinkedIn post the exact same thing. Or I can say, here's where Tom was. This was like Hell Island for him. He was showing up, he was engaging, commenting, doing all of that stuff. Then on the other side, as soon as we implemented the what, not how framework, Tom messaged me. He got 3 inbound leads. He got a client within, 2-3 months of doing that and installing it. And now he's, predictably getting more leads than he used to because of the what, not how system. Now, if you want access to it, I'm hosting a workshop. Click down below, blah, 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 or send you to some sort of link. You see how I've now changed the dynamic and I'm sharing what I know, like my lived experience. I'm sharing the insight or the wisdom from the event that's already happened. And I'm pointing you to the thing I want you to buy. So that's the difference between what versus how content. I think I'm going to do another example to sort of share. So we've got Tom, we've got Grandma's recipe. Another one I want to do is, let's say I want to talk about speed in general. So a lot of people have been burned by coaching. The other day I went to a basketball game and my wife and I have a season ticket for a local basketball team called Gerapnos. There was a big queue because it was a derby, and because we have VIP tickets, we were literally like in and out of the game really quickly. We had the door, we sat in, whatever, and as we were walking through, I turned around and I said to her, aren't we so fortunate in this example that we didn't have to wait in this queue and sit over there? And a lot of people in business as well wait around in the queue when they could pay for speed. And it's up to you. I'm showing people how to speed things up and get clients and fix their offer and blah, 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 blah. So if you're on Team Speed and you want to implement this in this model, that's what we're doing next week in so-and-so offer. So I've given you the what's going to happen. I haven't told you how. I've given you an analogy so you know that I have the answer, right? And in the process of doing that stimulation in the brain goes, I want to buy, I don't want to try, or I don't know what to try. And I do that as well in my content or some other YouTube videos that you've seen me doodle around on like a Remarkable or an iPad in steps. So if you show somebody the plan, right, like I can show you how to get to this holiday home, or I can show you how to sign a client in the next 10 days. And I can bring out my models and go, first we're going to do this. Next, we're going to do this, then we're going to do that. You know the person talking to you has the answer, but hasn't given it to you. So I guess challenge for you would be to take this, try to turn your how content into what content. Have a go and see if that changes the dynamic. And what I'm thinking of doing in like the next few weeks or so is creating a GPT. So if you're interested, you can just drop a comment down below and I'll do that, or you can find me on LinkedIn and drop me a message as well. And then you'll be the first to know when that comes out. So thank you. Let's do those what's, not the how, so they need us right now.